Alright, welcome back to another day, another news cycle. Some big news today. Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away at age 87, pancreatic cancer. She'd been pretty, ill for quite a while. It was definitely bound to happen. And, having it happening pretty much a month and a half before our elections has caused quite a lot of problems. We'll get to that in a moment. I don't personally really know too much about Ruth Bader Ginsburg besides, most of the basic facts. We'll read a couple of stories considering everybody is talking about it. I've got, I don't know, 15 articles up right here just about her dying. Let's just start with one. Tributes to Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg continued outside the Supreme Court early Saturday as the nation mourns the death of the veteran justice who died on Friday at age 87 following a battle with pancreatic cancer. Dozens of mourners were seen arriving outside the steps of the High Court, where Ginsburg served for 27 years, to drop off bouquets of flowers and homemade cards and signs in a quiet tribute to the late justice. Hours earlier, hundreds of people had packed the steps of the Supreme Court and the street across the U.S. Capitol as they sang and wept together during a candlelight vigil. And we have that over here from Fox. They got, definitely hundreds, if not thousands of people were there. Got outpouring of grief as nation mourns hero and titan Ruth Bader Ginsburg from the Huffington Post. I mean, they all pretty much say the same thing. Justice Ginsburg paved the way for so many women, including me. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said in a tweet, "There will never be another like her," her husband, former President Bill Clinton, said. Ginsburg's life and landmark opinions moved us closer to a more perfect union. At least they're being nice. I'll say that. At least they're being nice. Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, Hillary and Bill Clinton, I'm not a fan of them. Let's just say that they've done. I've looked into them quite a lot over the past few years, and yeah, they're not nice people. Let's just say that. But that's an opinion. That I will say is an opinion. But they're not nice people. But we got the vigil outside last night. We got all of the. We also then have Trump's statement. Today, our nation mourns the loss of a titan of the law. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg served more than 27 years as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. Notably, just the second woman to be appointed to the court, she was a loving wife to her late husband, Martin, and a dedicated mother to her two children. Renowned for her brilliant mind and her powerful dissents at the Supreme Court, Justice Ginsburg demonstrated that one can disagree without being disagreeable toward one's colleagues or different points of view. Her opinions, including well-known decisions regarding the legal equality of women and the disabled, have inspired all Americans and generations of great legal minds. A fighter to the end, Justice Ginsburg battled cancer and other very long odds throughout her remarkable life. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Ginsburg family and their loved ones during their difficult time. May her memory be a great and magnificent blessing to the world. And then you got the usual people that bash on Trump. We got the first remarks of what Trump said once he found out that she had passed away. President Trump said that he was sad to hear of the late Supreme Court Justice. She just died? Wow, I didn't know that. She led an amazing life. He told the pool. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman. Whether you agree or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life. I am actually sad to hear that. I am sad to hear that. Did not answer questions about a potential nomination to fill vacancy left by Ginsburg's passing. And we will be moving into that. So yeah, we get into the next bit here, and it's trying to figure out who's going to be the next Supreme Court Justice. It's now left open, and Trump has the ability to nominate, and this would give the Republicans a 5-4 over the Democrats. And Democrats don't seem too very happy about that. We have a dying wish from Ruth Bader Ginsburg that's causing a big divide between many voters. Trump is expected to ignore RBG's dying wish and nominate her replacement in days, while Biden demands he wait until after the election so the American people can decide. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg's last wish is that she not be replaced before the next president. Does that actually mean before this election, or does that mean before Trump is out of office in 4 years if he gets reelected? There's a lot of leeway to what her dying wish is here. I mean, we can't quite honor this because this is completely irrational and unconstitutional. We need to have our election happening. Trump has, it's his constitutional right to nominate a Supreme Court justice when one either retires or passes. It doesn't matter how close to the election it is. But if he doesn't nominate someone, that's a tie in the Supreme Court justice at a 4-4, and when this election is obviously going to be contested and having to go through all these legal issues. I mean, Biden's already lawyering up. I'm sure Trump has already as well. I'm sure he's already been prepared. So we're gonna have it's gonna be a mess, and we can't have such a divide, especially a clear, like, if there's a possibility of a 50-50 like chance here. It's like we can't leave that then. Like, no one's gonna be appointed. No one's gonna become president. Yeah, we got Trump signals he will move to replace Ginsburg without delay. It could be in the next couple weeks. It could move to the Senate for the vote, see if they get in. And so there's a possibility that Trump gets another appointed Supreme Court justice, and that would, as I said, give the Republicans a 5-4 vote. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, just stating what it is. We got from Politico here, just something crass. Waiting to fill Ginsburg's seat could be Trump's key to victory. Yeah, it's not as nuanced as that, Politico. So we're just gonna get rid of you. We got from the Gateway Pundit, Obama's statement in Ginsburg demands GOP Senate honors her dying instructions and put off vote on Supreme Court nominee until new president sworn in. It's like they seem to think that it's like, if Trump is in office, no Supreme Court justice should be appointed. None. It's like, what? I mean, wait, what? I mean, of course they already want to contest this election with mail-in voting, and that's clear. And it's almost like every step of the way they create little nicks and cuts in order to try to justify their cheating. Justify any sense of cheating in any sense in order to seize power once again. We got Democrat from Huffington Post. Democrats warn GOP fill Ginsburg Supreme Court seat and will nix the filibuster. Democrats and progressive activists vowed to eliminate the filibuster and possibly even expand the Supreme Court if Republicans filled the seat of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who died Friday from complications of cancer. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has made it clear he would move to confirm a replacement for the liberal icon despite blocking former President Barack Obama's nominee, Judge Merrick Garland, in a presidential election year in 2016. President Trump's nominee will receive a vote on the floor of the United States Senate, McConnell said in a statement Friday night. The Kentucky Republican did not say whether that vote would take place before or after the November 3rd election. Democrats said McConnell should wait and respect Ginsburg's dying wish that the next president fill her seat. Some, however, threatened to eliminate the filibuster and possibly even pack the high court if the Democratic Party takes control of the White House and Senate next year. So, I mean, Democrats are just trying to step up their game. Trying to say, hey, you know, we're just gonna then pack it, and we're just gonna, if Democrats got the Senate, then we're just gonna do whatever we can, whatever we want, almost. That's a little scary. We got McConnell urges GOP senators to keep your powder dry on Supreme Court vacancy. He says, over the coming days, we are all going to come under tremendous pressure from the press to announce how we will handle the coming nomination. For those who are unsure how to answer, or for those inclined to oppose giving a nominee a vote, I urge you all to keep your powder dry. This is not the time to prematurely lock yourselves into a position you may later regret, he added. So, I mean, he's trying to give people a chance, it seems. I mean, it's just, hey, we gotta chill here. This is some pretty breaking stuff. It's gotten more chaotic now. Especially in the miscellaneous news, because protests are back, people. Protests are back. But we've got, on Twitter, we've got a bunch of stuff trending. We got Constitution trending. It's all mostly political, all yesterday and a good chunk this morning. Constitution is trending. McConnell was trending. McConnell has like 2.4 million tweets or something. But one of the possible nominees could be Judge Amy Coney Barrett. This seems to be, right now, the highest likelihood. We got Judge Amy Coney Barrett's name has popped up each time President Trump has had to pick a new Supreme Court nominee. And there's once again buzz about Coney Barrett since Trump may choose to nominate a replacement for the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Coney Barrett, 48, has been on Trump's list of potential nominees since 2017. Picking her would keep the male-female ratio on the court the same, although it would throw off the balance of liberals and conservatives among the justices. I mean, there's not really a balance anyways. It was kind of more of the balance is already offset to begin with, so all you're doing is shifting it from one to the other. No matter what, it's offset. Coney Barrett began teaching at Notre Dame Law School in 2002 before being confirmed as a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Seventh Circuit. Her 2017 confirmation to the federal bench was contentious, with several Democratic senators questioning whether her Catholic faith, expressed in prior speeches, would influence her jurisprudence. The dogma lives loudly within you, and that's a concern, Senator Dianne Feinstein, California, said. Barrett responded, "It's never appropriate for a judge to impose that judge's personal convictions, whether they arise from faith or anywhere else, on the law." So that's good. Well, she seems to be the most likely contender right now. She's the one that's trending most between, I think, the four. There was also Tom Cotton and Ted Cruz, and I kind of forget the fourth one. But right now it's Amy Coney Barrett seems to be the likely one at this point, but we'll see once Trump actually nominates one. We've also then, you got New York Post, here's who might succeed Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court. We got Amy Coney Barrett. It's Britt Grant, or sorry, that wasn't the fourth one. They're just saying, Britt Grant, Amuth Thapar, Allison Ed, Joan Larson. There's a few people that could be nominated, but Amy Coney Barrett seems to be the likely one at this point. So we'll move over back to Twitter here, where hashtag #NoNoNo seems to be having, like 6 million tweets over Ruth Bader Ginsburg dying and the Supreme Court vacancy. People are going nuts. You can see here 2.6 million tweets, and that was 18 hours ago. I saw one where it showed 5.6. I tried to find it actually in trending, but it doesn't show up anymore. I'm sure it was well over 6 million by the time it popped off. Which leads to blue checks vow violence if McConnell tries to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Burn the entire thing down. Blue check leftists on Twitter vowed violence in America if Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell attempts to replace Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who died Friday night at age 87. This is from Reza Aslan. If they even try to replace RBG, we burn the entire effing thing down. Over our dead bodies, literally. Bo Williman. We're shutting this country down if Trump and McConnell try to ram through an appointment before the election. If McConnell jams someone through, which he will, there will be riots. It's about to get real. All we can hope for in times like this is that Mitch McConnell has a stroke from laughing too hard. To clarify, I don't want him to die, I just want him to be brain dead. I'm not a monster. I mean, wanted to be brain dead, though. But hey, that's blue check marks for you for the most part on Twitter. That's why Twitter's a pretty big cesspool. It's a pretty big echo chamber, I will say that. Cesspool and an echo chamber. And then from the Gateway Pundit here, we got a liberal woman post selfie video of hysterical meltdown over death of Justice Ginsburg. Ruth, you just had to make it to 2021. A liberal woman posted a video of herself having a hysterical meltdown over the death of Supreme Court Associate Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg Friday night. The woman is driving a car, swearing, screaming, and shaking the steering wheel, ending in hysterical screeching. This is basically, you know, like the meme where the chick was just screaming up into the sky when Trump won the election in 2016. This is going to be the same thing, more than likely. She's going to be quite a meme. And then lastly, we got AOC says RBG's death should radicalize Democrats and make electing Joe Biden the focus, saying, I don't care if you don't like him. Well, you know, I think they should care if they like the President of the United States, you know. And what do you mean by radicalizing Democrats? I mean, it's a pretty bold word to use. She says, this kind of vacancy and this kind of tipping point is the difference between people having reproductive rights and the government controlling people's bodies for them, she said, referring to the fight over abortion. It's the difference between us having a future and our climate or not, and the timing of this vacancy is extremely unsettling and scary to a lot of people, she added. No president is the answer, she said. You are the answer. Mass movements are the answer. She encouraged her supporters to take action by double-checking their voter registration, urging friends and family to vote, and volunteering their time and talent to organize for the election. So she might just be saying, hey, you know, just kind of become more activated in politics, start doing a bit more, but maybe using the word radicalize isn't quite the best term to use, AOC. Sometimes you just got to pick your words a little carefully. But, you know, we all have that problem. We all make mistakes. Alright, let's that's all the big news. I mean, we'll talk about that the most. We'll do a little bit of miscellaneous here. Like I talked about, the Portland riots have begun again, or protests, the mostly peaceful protests. Demonstrators returned to downtown streets Friday to call for police reforms to protect people of color. Federal and local officers repeatedly advanced on the crowd to force people to leave. Portland police said people had been throwing things at federal officers. They had went to an ice building and, you know, started bashing windows and destroying stuff. A couple of businesses had windows destroyed and everything. Most of it was actually contained by the police for the most part. So it wasn't terribly bad. No one died. Portland protests resume. 11 arrested in unlawful assembly. So they did manage to arrest a few people. You know, they'll get probably that excessive bail, and then it'll be dropped a little bit, and then who knows? They could even then start getting sedition charges, especially if these, you know, riots keep happening. Because that's just what they are. I mean, they were going on for well over 100 days. Wildfires started, and then as soon as the wildfires were contained, boom, protests starting again. I'm not saying there's a correlation. I mean, it's just wildfires just could have been a cause of why they slowed down or stopped. Up next, then we got FBI chief. Antifa a real thing, but it's an ideology or movement, not an organization. It's definitely a bit of they are organized to a certain point, but definitely use opportunistic people to their advantage. That's what I'll say on that. Support for Black Lives Matter has dropped dramatically among Americans since the violence and riots. So, I mean, these protests aren't going to help this anymore. I mean, according to, like, the polls and some of the graphs, that you could see that Black Lives Matter support was relatively chill up until the George Floyd death, and then those protests, and it spiked up radically, and then it's come back down to where it was before then. And if these protests keep happening as the way they are, that's just going to keep going down and down and down. And maybe on some lighter news. We'll end here with a little bit of lighter news, I guess. Media completely ignored thousands of Cubans rallying for Trump in Florida and mother of all caravans. Over 4,000 cars and trucks ascended on Florida's Doral Central Park, flying Trump 2020 flags and blaring their horns, while their car windows were painted with slogans like "No Communism, Vote for Trump, and Free Cuba," as people hung out of their sunroofs and windows waving Trump flags. So, you know, some good old peaceful protesting, some good old peaceful rallying, having a good time. Seems like a pretty good event. Didn't seem like anything violent happened. There was no Antifa or anything that seemed to want to cause any problems. So, that's how you do it. It's how you do some good rallies. I mean, I don't see Biden having rallies like this. I don't see Biden having rallies at all, actually. I'm just seeing protests over all the crap, all the police, and them trying to overthrow the government, and it's a lot of crap, and it really starts to weigh you down. I'll say that. So, but we got to keep strong. We got to keep pulling forward. Just, you know, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, strong woman. She kept going through pancreatic cancer through so many years and kept pushing herself. So it's got mad respect for that. I will say that. So if we can all be like that, then hell, we can do a lot in this world. With that, that is Daily News Coverage. New Truth News, signing out.